Alright, so welcome back to the second section of Unit 4, where we just talked about divisibility, what numbers will divide into other numbers. And so here we're going to be talking about factors, which is whole numbers being multiplied to find a product. Okay, so for instance, 18 here, it's got factors of 1, 2, 3, 6, and 18. That means that if you took these numbers times another number, it's going to give you 18. All right. So what numbers can I multiply together to get 18, or what numbers can I multiply together to get another number? Okay, is a factor. Prime factorization is the other thing that we're going to talk about, which prime factorization is important for being able to find the greatest common factor, least common multiple, to be able to find the lowest common denominator, and be able to also simplify fractions. So being able to know the factors and be able to break down a number to its prime factors is very important. So remember that a prime number is a number that can only be multiplied by itself and 1. Okay, and so the lowest prime factor is 2. All right, 1 is not a prime factor. All right, so prime factorization is the number written as a product of its prime numbers. Okay, so you're taking a number and breaking it down to its prime numbers and then multiplying it together. Okay, that's prime factorization. So on the first question, I ask you to list the factors of 18. Okay, so what numbers can you multiply together to get 18? Well, you always know that it's itself and 1 will always be 2 factors. Okay, so another thing that you can look at is you know that 18, all right, thinking back to your divisibility rules from the last section, 18 is an even number. So if I took 18 divided by 2, I'm going to get 9. So 2 times 9 gives me 18. Then if you add together 1 and 8, you're going to get 9. 9 is divisible by 3. So therefore, 3 goes into 18. 3 times 6 gives me 18. These are the only factors of 18. So if you list them out, 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and 18 is your prime factors. Now, a little trick to know whether I have all the factors or not is take the outside numbers and multiply them together. 1 and 18 gives me 18. 2 and 9 give me 18. 3 and 6 give me 18. And that is as far in as I can go, so therefore I have all the factors. So if I link them up, then it's going to give me the factors. Okay? Letter B, 13. Well, we know 13 times 1 gives me 13. So these are the only factors because 13 is a prime number. Remember that anytime that you have itself and 1 as the only factors, then it must be a prime number. Okay? Prime factorization. Prime factorization is breaking a number down to just its prime factors. Okay? So we by using a factor tree, which is the easiest for me, is you take 36, you make a upside down V or a point, okay? And on one side you've got one number times another number, and that should give you 36, okay? Because this is the first fork. So 4 times 9 gives me 36. So now I do a fork again, and 2 numbers multiplied together should give me 4. So 2 times 2. 9 we can break down to 3 times 3. All right? And these are the only these are all prime numbers right here. 2 and 3 are all prime numbers. So 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. If we multiplied all of that together, we should get 36. Okay? So if you multiply together all the prime numbers, you should get back to your original number. Okay? Now, notice I wrote it as 2 squared times 3 squared. Well, 2 and 3 are our 2 prime numbers. I have 2 2's, so I wrote it as the power of 2. I have 2 3's, so I wrote it as the power of 2. So 2 squared times 3 squared is how you write the product of prime factors. All right? Sometimes the math space will allow you to have this, but really this is how you should write your product of prime factors, your prime factorization. Okay? So let's do another one. 110. If you break it down, You've got 11 times 10. Okay? I try to get as close together of numbers as possible because that's the least amount of factoring that I have to do. So 11 is a prime number, so we break down 10. I know that 2 goes into 10 5 times. So here are my prime numbers. 2 times 5 times 11. And this is how you would write it because I don't have more than one 2, I don't have more than one 5, and I don't have more than one 11. So this is how you would write it, your prime factorization. Now 495. I don't know what goes into 495 other than 5 because of my divisibility rules. Remember, any number ending in 0 and 5 is divisible by 5. So 5 goes into 495 99 times. Now I have a number that I can work with. I know that 11 goes into 99 9 times. Then you break down 9, 3 times 3. So 3 times 3 times 5 times 11. You always write it down, least to greatest, going from left to right. Okay? So I have 2 3s, so 3 squared, 1 5, and 1 11. So if I were to multiply 3 squared times 5 times 11, I'm going to get 495. So I broke it down to its product of prime factors. So go ahead and do the practice problems. If you have any questions, come in tomorrow with your questions, and then we can work through them.